Hi, this is Brent, founder of Vikings of the Wire. When you have a session with us, we will be using this dashboard to help you and work out what we can do to increase the fidelity of your AI collaboration. And the first thing we've got to do there is work out, well, what are these AIs you've got, AI or multiple AIs? What roles have they been given? What tasks have they got? And how long is it taking them to produce the tasks? And what's the main pain point? For example, here, is it that you're constantly doing rework? Is it that images are not on brand? Even though you're giving your AIs your brand kit, there are artifacts in the images that shouldn't be there. Or there's a whole host, as you would know, a whole host of things that can cause friction and cause pain. What platforms are you using? GPT, Claude, Gemini, for example. We use GPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, and a few others. So we'll put those in there. What's the main purpose of the AI? And then, does somebody manage those AIs, or are you personally managing them? And regardless of that question, if you're managing them, see yourself as a Fidelity Cadence Officer, somebody who's responsible for the fidelity of the AI human collaboration. When you look at it that way, it's not just commanding an AI, it's actually learning to tune the AI relationship and collaborate with it. So if you're running many AIs and you want to assign this to a person, an employee, for say a half an hour or an hour a day, whatever is needed, then we will teach that person the role of Fidelity Cadence Officer. Okay. So we'll ask you to give this to your AI, which is to review the last 10,000 words. And in that, how many distinct tasks did you run, and how many per week, and how many minutes per task? We'll put that in there and we'll compute the outcome. We'll be doing all this while you're online with us in that session. And then we'll copy this prompt here and ask your AI to give you a grading based upon intent clarity. That's your intent, how clear you were in knowing what you wanted to ask before you asked it. The contextual resonance, so was everything in context? There was no peripheral pieces of information that shouldn't have been there. Iterative accuracy, that's how you effectively refine and correct outputs when the AI is giving you something that's not exactly what you wanted. Optimal cadence was the conversation rhythm, conductive, productive collaboration, and shared ownership. Did you command the AI or did you work collaboratively? It'll give you a result. Now that result, that is what the fidelity is all about. When you get high scores here, your bottom line is going to be increased revenue due to less reworks and more money for your bottom line, guaranteed, because every time you have to rework something, it's costing you in lost time. You're paying somebody, say, $80 an hour to create socials posts, and they're having to rework half of it all the time. The AI can't remember what it did last time. It's like our advertisement, a professor with amnesia. All that gets fixed. Those pains are gone once you learn how to use this. So we'll go through that with you and give you a score. Once you've got this, then you can go on your own and try the tools out that we leave you with and work with your AIs during a 3-day period. And when you come back to a session with us, we'll run this prompt again. We'll run this one here again and see if your scores have improved. If they have improved, then there'll be a fee for that. If they haven't improved, then there won't be a fee. So the next thing that we would do is, when you're a customer of ours and you've paid us to help you get to that point, we will give you this Vikings daily operations dashboard with your branded colors. Now what you can do with this is, this will keep your AI and you in check every single day. You can do it yourself or assign an employee to use it. And once you get familiar with it, you can give this to your AIs and get them to add content to it, to personalize it to suit you. Okay, there's nothing secret here. We want you to have it and we want you to personalize it. But to get started, what will happen is, look, this here is a Gemini. We use Gemini as an archivist. So each day we will put in the value of the word count of the session. So we'll go to the session, we'll press Control A, copy the entire session into a document, count the words, and here it is, 30,000. But let's just say we weren't paying attention and it was 50,000. Then handover needed. We're being told by the system, hey, you need to get a summary of that session and you need to move on, because that's going to get the AI is likely to start drifting and losing contextual awareness based upon what you're using the AI for, which in this case is an archivist, a highly specialized role. So handover needed, 91% capacity, let's say 28,000 words, approaching a limit. If somebody's doing this every day, can you see now? If somebody's doing this every day, you can feel confident that your days of having session crashes are over, and your days of having AI drift is coming to an end too, because before the AI is drifting, you're catching it with this system. So these are our AIs. We've got a few more. We've got to edit this again, this dashboard, but that's how it works. Handover preparation. So which AIs are we doing handovers for? Well, in this case, Claude and GPT. And other handover documents prepared. So on our website, we have a handover for you for free, and there's a video there showing you how it works. But it's easy. We've got a light one here and a full handover JSON file here. The JSON file is a machine-readable file which we provide, so that if you want to connect AWS file server later on, which is what we're doing right now, then these are machine-readable files. In other words, connect your AI to AWS file server so that it knows where everything is. So that's a technology setup. However, for the purposes of doing a handover from one AI to the next session, so you're doing from one AI to the same AI in a next session. So you're going from session 1, whatever your AI's name is, to session 2 of the same AI. But you can also use it to go from one AI to another AI as well, which is what we do quite a lot, sharing information. So you just press this, copy the prompt, give that to your AI, and the AI open up your new session, drop that in, and your AI is fully contextually aware of what you're doing. And so that's what I'm saying is the handover documents prepared. And then any notes on the handover. And then each day we've got another prompt that we use for a daily session log. So we ask our AIs to give us a daily session log, and we give that to the archivist, which is the Gemini AI, a powerful AI. So we can say to Gemini at any one time, where is the document in relation to a Facebook metrics, in relation to Facebook metrics for a campaign we did in February. It'll say, oh, that's in session number 22. And so we'll know where to find things fast, and soon we'll have that connected to AWS and it'll be automated. So here you can add a project and you can track which AI is working on what project, what are the next steps, the progress status, which humans are involved. And you can then also track what went well today, were there misalignments, and what could be improved. And every time you try to improve something, you increase fidelity, sharpness between you and the AIs. And then you can track the AIs by putting the assessment in, like we saw before. You can put the score in here. It might be 9, for example, 9.5. And so you can track these fidelity results with the different AIs. And this is fantastic because whoever's managing this is sharing that information to the owner of the business, or if you are the owner, then you've got your handle on, you've got your finger on the pulse. Then you can just print this, and there you go. Each day you can have your own copy of what's going on. Now this information is saved in the browser as well, and it's also exported to JSON, and you can give that to, you can store it as a file archived, you can save the dashboard here, and you can give that exported JSON file to an archivist if you're using one. So that's it. That's the quick version of how this works. You will be saving time, no more session crashes, full contextual awareness from session to session, multiple AIs managed with ease. Thank you.